I'm doing a quick tutorial today on MPC wellness posing, specifically on the front poses, but I also want to give a plug to my TIDL CBD spray. This is amazing. I did leg today and I sprayed it right after my workout. So literally, it's just like a little nub there. You turn it, you spray it on the muscle that you're trying to recover or that's super sore, and you let it dry. So simple. I freeze every time because it's 500 milligrams of cannabinoids per spray. So try it out. Link is down below. And I've also got on these pretty cute little shorts here. Everybody's been asking me about them, so I put up my Amazon store in my profile as well. So feel free to click through there, some of my other products that I like. So back to the topic today is MPC wellness posing. Now we're finishing up the season for 2020, but I think this is something that going into 2021, if you're considering competing, you need to start thinking about your posing. A lot of people undervalue posing and they don't do it until they're actually in prep. And I think that's a mistake, because if you start posing now, you're gonna be able to see how your physique's shaping up and what are some of the areas that you need to work on when it comes to your training too. So the front pose is actually my favorite because you can modify it the most. A lot of the different divisions now have required poses, but I would say bikini and wellness for the women's divisions have the most freedom as far as the poses go. So I'll go ahead and show you 3 different variations that I've been trying out for front poses that I like, but you know, there's going to be a lot of different variety as we see the division kind of develop more and more in the United States. So the first pose is more of a, I would say, Brazilian influenced type of positioning. And don't mind my awesome slippers here, but I'm going to show you guys what I do for this front pose. So I always start with my back leg first, which is usually my right. I'm right-handed. And on stage, when it comes to the front pose, you can actually switch this up. So I will show you guys the left side as well. But what I'm going to do with the right leg is I'm going to position it almost at a 45-degree angle towards like a 2 o'clock, if you will. And I'm going to shift my weight into that hip, into that glute. And then with my left leg, I'm going to point the toe, and I'm going to set my toe down. It's about 2 feet in front of the other foot. And I'm going to point it actually about what 11 o'clock would be. So I'm pointing it here. I'm going to use my back hand, so my right hand, put it on my waist, right about where my belly button would be. And then I'm going to push into this hip like we talked about, and I've got this leg flat. You don't really want to see a lot of striations in wellness. As you lean out, you'll see them, but they want it to look smooth from the quad perspective. So I'm going to have my foot here, and I'm going to flex the slat and relax this arm. And now, as you can see, depending on how I want my leg to look, I'm going to rotate this leg in or out. And I usually rotate it slightly out because I want to see the curvature of my waist here. I like being able to rotate it out. Now, if I were to do it on the other side, I'm not as good on this side, as you can see. But the idea is I'm trying to create that illusion of a bigger leg, smaller waist. So that's the first pose. Second pose is more of I would say the one that was most common in shows this year when I was competing. And this is what I did as well, is you're going to set that back leg at that 2 o'clock marker like we did in the first pose. And then the front leg, you're actually going to point it almost at 12 o'clock. And it's going to be about, if you look from the heel to the other heel, it's about 6 inches or so. And then I'm going to, this is like an old school bikini pose. Take my back hand on my waist again, shift all the weight into the back. My foot is flat on the ground here. So I am really rotating my waist, bring that elbow forward, and this is that second front pose. So that is number 2. And then number 3 that I've been playing with is like a varied, almost like a Wonder Woman pose. And I like this because I came from the figure division. So what I'm doing here is I've got my legs almost parallel, and they're going to be pointed at about 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. So what you're going to do, and it's different when you're in heels than slippers, but I'm going to take my right hand on my waist again. I'm going to flex this lat, bring the arm forward, and just like we did in the other poses, we're going to push to the one hip, and I'm going to rotate the knees out in both legs. So we're trying to flex the glutes so that the upper glute is actually showing from the front, but we're flexing those quads. So this is another variation I've seen that I like and I'm playing with. So I hope that was helpful, just fun little tips on posing. I am taking new posing clients right now for 30-minute Skype sessions, so please do reach out to me if you're interested in setting something up for this year or next year.